Hey friends, it's Ryan Frank. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. Got my coffee in hand from Lucy's Car Wash and Drive-Thru in Converse, Indiana. Speaking of Indiana, our guest today is from Indiana. I'll be introducing you to Jordan Davis in just a moment. Jordan is wearing a really cool tee, little teaser alert. And before we went live with the coffee chat, I reminded Jordan that I wear a size medium. Just kind of dropping that hint Jordan's way. You'll see Jordan's t-shirt in just a few minutes. Friends, our team has been working hard on the fall issue of Kids Matter magazine. Now, this is not the fall issue. This is the summer issue. This is our COVID-19 issue. The reason I tell you this is if you are going to subscribe to Kids Matter magazine, now's the time. If you want to receive the fall issue, we need to get your subscription in this week. Go to Kids Matter, put a Z in there, KIDZ, Kids Matter. In the red bar at the top, there's a button that says magazine. Click it, get subscribed. It's $20 a month. If you're a children's pastor, if you're a children's ministry director, and you're not getting Kids Matter magazine, you need to get it. If you really can't scrap up $20, email me and I'll give you a subscription. I want every children's pastor in America to receive Kids Matter magazine, starting with you, Coffee Chat listeners. So good morning if you're catching this today on Facebook or on the podcast or on YouTube. So glad that you are here. My guest today is Jordan Davis. Jordan, why don't you jump on here with me? Jordan is the children's pastor at the Church of the Crossing in Indianapolis. Good morning, Jordan.
Morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's my fellow Hoosier children's pastor?
Good down here in Indy.
Are you?
Yeah.
How was your way last week? I
Was,
should have stopped in and said hi, but Beth, we did a quick trip down to the Keystone Mall to pick up a
you're an eighth of a mile away and you don't stop.
literally a stone throw away. I saw you sleeping at your desk when I drove
Sure
by
I was.
the office.
Yep.
Or were you praying? Maybe you were praying.
We'll say I was praying. That's
All right.
good thought.
Jordan's at a great church. Jordan, I teased up your shirt because I love it. It's got the Indianapolis skyline. Tell us about that shirt.
We just tried. So we've been back in church for a couple weeks, and so we decided. Usually, our kids' shirts are different than our youth shirts, are different than our usher shirts, or different than all the other ministries. And so we all kind of did this Indy skyline with go. Our big saying around here is "Go Love One More."
Yeah.
And so we put our different logos on them just to really try to let people know who we are, and especially I was telling you a minute ago, our preschool started this week, and so we are realizing that our pastors are having to be a little more involved, especially our kids ministry team involved in our preschool this year. So that way our parents that don't have a clue who we are know who we are. So
I love it. You're at a great church. Jordan and I are close enough that we don't get together as much as we should, but we do get together from time to time. Jordan introduced me to a great sub at Jimmy John's. What is it, the Beach Walker or something like that?
Beach Club.
The Beach Club?
Yeah.
Where'd Beach Walker come from?
Good stuff. That sounds good too. Let's make
It
that
does.
stuff
I'm
up.
getting kind of hungry, actually. It's got like turkey and avocado and
Good stuff.
come on, what time can you be up here, Jordan?
Let's do it.
All right, see you in an hour and a half.
Yep.
We're going to wrap up the coffee chat. No, we're not.
Okay. Done.
Jordan, you're doing great things at your church. Tell me 3 great things. Like, okay, these COVID days have been nuts. I don't have to tell any of you that. COVID's been nuts. Nothing has gone, like we really thought it would. A lot of you aren't meeting yet. Some of you, like Jordan's church, you just started regathering. These are crazy days and crazy future. Jordan, tell me 3 things you've loved about being a children's pastor, even during a pandemic. And then we're going to shift gears because I'm dying for Jordan to get to a story. And I want to hear 3 things, Jordan, that have surprised you or caught you off guard or unexpected you. 3 things you've loved.
I would say always on a personal note, just time with family has been interesting. I hope people that are watching have seized this opportunity. I know for me, 15 years in kids ministry, my family has suffered through many seasons. And I think sometimes we all have done it in the past, Ryan. I know we've talked about it before, putting the church first behind our family. But in this season, I've really tried. So I have 3 boys. So we have really been intentional with our kids this season. And just seeing the difference it's making. I'll have this weekend, I have my oldest turns 13. I'll have a teenager this weekend. and just doing spur of the moment, spontaneous things with our kids has been something that's really been encouraging. I'd say another thing for just me is
I like that.
love creating and love problem solving. And so this has been a great season for us to try stuff and fail, and it's been all right. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do is just we keep saying as a staff every week that we're going to try something, and who knows what's going to happen.
That's the thing, if there's ever a time where people are giving you permission to try things, I mean, it's now. And ever a time where people are going to show you grace, it's now.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get these pastors and ministry leaders that just can't wait to get back to default. And it's like they are stuck in the mud until things can get back to the way they used to be. Man, this is a time. I mean, talk about for such a time as this.
Yeah. And even like we've been talking about things that you have wanted to secretly take away. This is a great time because they don't remember them anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
We laughed. There's a church up towards you a little bit that laughed. He said, man, this was my opportunity to get chairs in the sanctuary to social distance. He's been wanting to get rid of his pews forever. And it's like, it's true. It's so true. So
that is true.
Taking advantage of in this season. And grace, like you said, parents are giving grace, kids are giving grace like crazy.
No doubt. So your first one was family.
Yeah.
You loved just extra time with your family and just that in general.
Second, number two was definitely problem solving. And taking that grace. And then really the third one is just building on these small wins. So we've been back 4 weeks, technically 2 weeks, we had 2 weeks of a preview service is what we did. And just getting these small wins, I would say is a big deal. So we're having 7% of our kids are what's coming back. We're at 7%. 7%. And so trying to make the most of these opportunities, I think it's very hard to get, or it's very easy to get discouraged. I would say it's very hard to be encouraged in this season. And so just not expecting much. The first Sunday, I'm like, hey, okay, I'm going to set the bar for my volunteers. If we get 12 kids, we're going to be great. And getting 17, set that bar low enough where 17 was so exciting for us. And so just encouraging those small wins and also making the most of these opportunities. The kids that are coming back are our core kids. And so how can I truly do discipleship in this season? How can I truly build relationships? And so we have a semi truck out front right now delivering like 8 sets of furniture for our outdoor spaces because, for adults and kids, we've taken away a lobby, that gathering time, that intermingling time, that community. And so having these small wins of we started putting kids furniture outside, and now it's like, okay, we're going to put some adult furniture outside. We're going to have Kona Ice or a food truck every Sunday just to build this community that we can't do in our typical lobby setting.
I love that. That's good. Good reminder to everybody too. Yeah, celebrate the small wins and don't think that. I know everybody's excited to regather and like get back where we were and get the energy level, but more than likely it's going to be a rebuild, and it's going to be I don't know if rebuild's the right term, but you get it. Starting small.
Yeah.
In rebuilding.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears. Mr. Davis, 3 things you were not expecting or that have caught you off guard. I know one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'll save that one for last.
Yeah.
So probably the first one was how much weight I put in a smile on a kid's face. I realized pretty early in this pandemic that for me, I'm an Enneagram 7. I'm a high creative guy, and how much I take payment for kids ministry and smile on kids' faces. Yep. And so the virtual world, not true. Smiles makes it really hard. And so for me, I had to start having parents post pictures of let me see your kids doing our kids' activities today, and trying to get that interaction. For me, I know they were doing it. I could see my number of emails, I could see my statistics, but I didn't see the smiles. I realized for our kids staff, that was quickly into depression for us. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that's true. All of a sudden, those kids just aren't there.
Yep.
And that place is awful quiet.
It is. Yeah.
It's awful quiet. All right, number 2.
Number 2 was how hard the simple things would be. So we, like I said, today, we're on our 3rd day we have a full preschool. There's 97 kids, I think, here today.
Really?
We're only at half time right now. We have our second half starting after Labor Day.
Okay.
And so just even we are really big at partnering church and school together. Most of our kids from our preschool do not go to our church. And so it's been a bridge that we've always really strived to do the best we can. And so even things that social or rules that we've had to put in place of parents aren't walking their kids into their classrooms this year. They're having to drop off at the curb, which is great. Sounded great on paper. It takes a lot of work because parents are dropping off all day. People are picking up all day.
Yeah.
And how much work it's taken just to bring kids into our building and have them exit safely has taken almost a full-time staff position.
That's crazy.
And then even the same thing on Sunday mornings of making a non-contact stickers and check-in and check-out process. It's taken a whole person now, where it used to be somebody could multitask 2 or 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So I would say one of the biggest things is really how, the pool of the simple things on staff and on volunteers has been crazy.
Yeah, that's good. How are you? I think it's interesting. I forgot that you guys have a daycare, preschool.
Preschool, yeah.
A preschool, yeah. And it works well. I mean, there's not tension. A lot of times you hear of these churches with daycares or preschools or schools, and it's like this constant tension with leadership and shared space.
You have to realize what the mission of the church is. So on any given, when things are normal in a normal season, this time a year ago, there's 200 or 300 people in our building every day that do not go to our church. So that's a mission field. That's it's
true.
all about for my always in kids ministry, I've always went to schools every day and tried to get in touch with what my closest ministry partner. Well, that is my closest ministry partner here. And so our school is very diverse, lots of different ethnicities, and so that's what I want to capture. So I wish my ministry looked like my school. So how do I want that? What's the way I get that to happen? Well, I'm in the fields every day here.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, the third thing you were not expecting.
I did not expect for the coronavirus to hit my household and my ministry. And so this is something that when I texted Ryan last week, really just something I would just want to encourage you, if I could talk to other children's pastors, other directors for a minute, is what is your backup plan? And so basically what happened is through a small group in our church, my wife tested positive for coronavirus, which we did not expect. She leaves the house maybe twice a week. She works full-time from home, working at home. And so then what ended up happening is in that meantime of waiting on results, I was with my whole kid staff. So I have a full-time person, 2 part-time people. And so we were all in one room. We actually in this room I'm in right now doing like this for Sunday morning. And so we were not 6 feet apart. We were not wearing masks because we were doing videos, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so on a Thursday afternoon, we decided my whole kids staff could not be here on a Sunday morning. And so I was not prepared for that. And so what I would, if I could speak just into your all's ministries, what is your backup plan for you, especially, and for your staff, for your volunteers? We've experienced even in our school, one teacher was with her husband who happened to test was with somebody that tested positive, now has tested positive. It wiped out a whole classroom.
Dang.
So things that you do not think, you expect it's not going to affect me. And so we replaced our whole kid staff on a Sunday morning.
So what day of the week did you realize we got to do this?
Thursday.
Monday?
Thursday evening. Actually, really, we didn't pull the plug on a whole new team till Friday morning. And basically told my whole kid staff, all paid, they couldn't be here. So then and that was our opening Sunday. That was opening Sunday for us. So our kids that were here did not see a single person that they typically would see out front.
What'd you do? Bribe your youth pastor with like lunch for 2 weeks if you cover, or what?
We ended up forking over some money and bribing some people.
I bet you did.
We also just, really called and said, here's the situation, be super honest. Here's the situation. I need you to step up this week. And so it was crazy. And one of the biggest things that I realized is how many things that I do that nobody knows I do.
That's a good point.
I am a super early morning person. So I get to the church on a Sunday morning about 6:30.
Yeah.
I'm the one that turns the lights on. I'm the one that turns the sound stuff on. The music in the hallways, nobody notices is on, but they notice when it's not on. Those
Yeah.
are things that I do that nobody knows I do. And so it's quickly like, oh, we got to do this, and I got to tell you to do this and this and
And
this.
that's true. Who's going to do all this stuff?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
stuff that's even like hard to explain how to do. So I was on FaceTime all Sunday morning, like, okay, you push this button. No, not that button, this button. But just,
Yeah.
labeling things, making sure people know where things are, how things are supposed to run. The technology parts is a big thing. So by what happened is basically the people that run our day to day and run our tech, none of us were here.
Hmm.
So it's interesting.
So I think so what would you say to someone who's like, wow, what if that happened to me? I really need to I need to think about a backup plan. Where do you start with that? Do you feel like it's creating a document with like everything that gets done and who does it? You mentioned labeling. What do you
I'm
think?
not a document person, so I'm not detail oriented at all. So what I've done is try to take pictures of stuff. The other thing is put up some boundaries. So a big thing that we have learned out of this is it's like I walked in this room a minute ago and my preschool pastor walked out. We're
Yep.
not being in the same room a lot right now. If we are, masks, and we're in 20 feet, we're going to go to another extreme. My part-time staff is not coming in except on Sundays right now.
Yep.
These are things that we're doing to make sure that at least our whole team is not wiped out. And so that would be even more than just creating documents. What are you doing to keep your staff and your volunteers separate? So yes, it's great to do an in-the-person training, but how quickly could 100 volunteers be wiped out because 10 people would be in there and have been exposed to somebody the day before?
That's a good point.
And so it sounds great to do large gatherings. It sounds great to get all your kids staff together or your kids volunteers. That does not need to happen in that spot. So think about 2-week rotations. I want to keep these volunteers for 2 weeks. So that way I know this 14-day isolation time is good. So that way my next 2 week of people come in. So
that's good stuff. Jordan, final question. Thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule to join me today and all these leaders. We appreciate what you're doing. Give a word of encouragement to someone out there listening today that's discouraged. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they feel like they don't have support. Maybe they feel like they're ready to quit. Maybe they're bummed out. Maybe something happened. Would you just speak some encouragement and words of life over everybody today?
I would say, I think it's always, you always got to remember that God loves you, He cares for you, and He believes in you. The other thing is get help. If you need help, get help. I'm having a sleep study tonight because guess what? I've been sleeping since the pandemic started, about 4 hours. I know I've gained weight. I know I've not been eating well, but reach out for help. Do not be too good to get help. We've been encouraging our staff to get counseling in this season. Get yourself help because your ministry is only going to be as good as you are.
And that's true.
And so just get that help and know that God loves you and don't worry about what other people are thinking of you. Like we said at the beginning of this, if there's any season where you get grace, it's right now. So speak up, tell people you need help.
And that can be hard for us sometimes because I feel like as leaders and pastors, we feel like we got to be the ones that have it all together and be the fixers. But I think you're right. Don't be afraid to get help. When you get on an airplane and they're telling you what to do and they go through everything they talk about, when that mask drops, put it on yourself before you help someone else.
Exactly.
Because you're not gonna be able to help someone else if you don't have air yourself. Exactly. Take care of yourself. That is such good advice.
I've heard just a lot of pastors that have been coming back. We feel it this week. So we're a pretty big staff, 29 of us are on staff here, and all of us are going through some kind of attack right now. Physical, spouses having problems. We've got a spouse in a hospital right now with a baby that's going to be way premature. We've got all these things going on right now. Your church is going to be attacked. So you've got to be ready. So you've got to be fresh. So you got to get the help now because it's coming.
That's a real good point. Make sure here's the thing, Jordan, and all of you that are listening, I'm convinced if you don't take care of yourself and if you don't make it your priority, no one else is going to. Now, your spouse may encourage you to do some stuff and things, but at the end of the day, it's up to me.
Exactly.
To take care of myself physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Make sure, like Jordan said, make sure you're sleeping good. Take care of yourself. You're valuable, and get the help you need. That's good advice. Jordan, I love you. When are we going to do Jimmy John's next?
Do it soon, man.
Let's do it soon.
Your turn to come down here.
Let's do it in the next 4 weeks.
All right.
I want to come tour your church anyway. Would they let me in if I bring a mask?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
For sure.
coffee shop of yours open right now?
Oh, yes, it is open every day. If you're in the Indianapolis area, the
Come
Haverstick
on. All right.
stuff.
All right, Jordan Davis. Connect with Jordan on Facebook if you're not connected. He'd be a great Facebook friend. Pick his brain in the I Love Kidmin community if you need any help with anything. He'd love to help. All right, thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
All right, Kidmin, thank you for tuning in to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. As I mentioned earlier, we are within a week of going to print with the new Kids Matter magazine. This thing right here. What you need to do if you want to get the fall issue, it's $20 for a year in the mail. You'd go to kidsmatter.com. Right here in the red bar, there's a button that says magazine. Push magazine. It's going to take you to information about Kids Matter magazine. All right. It is your guide to everything Kidmin. 15 years we've been publishing this magazine. And I can't believe we're 15 years into this. Don't have any plans of stopping anytime soon. 4 issues a year into your mailbox. And we would love to give you a subscription. Now, if you are a member of Kids Matter Pro, you get Kids Matter magazine as a perk in the mail. So you may want to consider joining Kids Matter Pro. At a minimum, spend $20 and get you a subscription to Kids Matter magazine. It's going to help you stay relevant. It's going to help you stay connected in the world of children's ministry. And it'll look really cool in your office or on your desk, which is a great perk. Friends, thanks for joining me on the Coffee Chat. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. God bless. See you then.